lesson is how to clean a saddle, and I'm going to be using an English saddle, but the basics are probably the same regardless of whether you have Western or anything else. So what you need to clean your saddle is you need a bucket of warm water, a nice cleaning sponge. It could be one of these or a natural one. Some saddle soap. I prefer just straight old saddle soap. You can get bars or whatnot. You can also get kind of your glycerin, saddle soap spray. Those work as well. And then also some conditioners. Leather CPR, here's Leather New. There's all kinds on the market. I'm not going to be using the one-step products because I think that they just cake on and make for a sticky, yucky tack on top of dirt rather than cleaning your tack. So we're just going to start out. The first thing you do, there's basically 3 steps. The first step is getting the dust and dirt off of your saddle because you don't want to just put soap on top of a dirty saddle. So I dampen my sponge, I wring it out really well, and I start going over my whole saddle without any soap. And the whole point is I'm lifting all the dust and any dirt that might be on there. Sometimes if you're out in a muddy arena or something, you'll get, splatters and stuff on your saddle. You might have to use your fingernail to pick them off, to get them off your tack. So I go over my whole saddle and I rinse often because I don't want to just be spreading the dirt that's already on there. So I have a very wrung out sponge because I don't want it soaking wet because that'll just dry out your saddle. So you shouldn't see drip marks on your saddle. It should be very well wrung out. So you go over your whole saddle. Now, if you're doing a really thorough cleaning, you might want to take off your stirrup leathers. But for just a regular standard cleaning, I just leave them on. I don't worry about it too much. So I do the outsides. I lift my flap and I do everything on the inside as well. And again, this is just a dusting. I'm not actually soaping it. Okay. There we go. And cleaning your saddle often is really good because then you don't have to clean as much, and because it keeps it nicer and just makes your saddle last longer. Okay, so come over here, do the same thing. You can check your stitching and all every time you clean your saddle. Make sure your saddle's in good repair. Get all your straps. Now, I'm using a step stool today just because I need to have this in a place where there's good lighting, but usually you would have a tack cleaning station. But a step stool works fine. Now, don't forget, you also want to get underneath your saddle. Check the tree, make sure everything looks good. Okay. I'm just getting it all dusted. And it doesn't take very long, especially if you clean your saddle on a regular basis. Okay, so now I'm ready to move on to step 2, which is for the soap. Again, I squeeze my sponge out really well because I don't want it lathered. I just want a nice cleaning of soap. Okay, I don't want suds everywhere. If I have suds, then I'm going to rinse out my sponge and I'm going to squeeze it out really well and wipe the suds off because I don't want that suds drying on my saddle because it'll leave marks. Okay, so this is actually cleaning. I'm getting into the pores. Now, if you do have some suds and when you're cleaning your tack, if you get it into the holes of any of your straps, you can just blow it out. Just take your strap and you can and it'll blow the soap right through the holes. Okay, so go across. All right. Rinse often, that way you're always getting a clean application. Okay. And I'm going over all the parts of the saddle just like I did before. Now you don't want any streaking, so make sure you rub everything in really well. oil my saddle all the time. In fact, oiling, I know some people like to oil their tack kind of on a regular basis. I'm not quite sure why, because oiling, I only ever use it when I get a new tack and I want to dip it and soften it up and change the color if I want to darken my tack. So once I have my tack where I want it, I don't ever put oil on it again unless it were to get in really bad shape, but I don't let my tack get in really bad shape. Okay, so the fronts, and then I'm going to get the bottom, and I'm doing this rather quickly because the saddle is pretty clean already. Alright. Now, that's step 2. And step 3 is the fun part, because it makes your tack really pretty. I'm going to rinse out my sponge really well. Don't want anything ever really wet. And then I'm going to use my conditioner. Now, when I do my conditioner, I should show you how to use that spray too. When I do my conditioner, I usually start underneath because I like to do the top, the very last, so that I don't leave any marks when I'm moving the saddle around. So I make sure I work from the inside out so it ends up really, really pretty. And you can apply this as liberally as you want. You want to push into the leather so it really gets in there. Okay. Now, if you were to use the spray bottle, like this leather new stuff, you can spray directly on your saddle or onto the sponge. I prefer spraying onto the sponge because then I don't get spray marks by accident on my saddle in case I don't see it. I always make sure I'm cleaning in good lighting. But if you don't have good lighting, you might accidentally miss some spray marks and then you're going to have spots on your saddle. Okay. Come over here. Again, I'm starting with the inside out. And if your water's getting really dirty, go ahead and rinse it out and get some fresh water, depending on how dirty your tack is. Now I'm going to do my bottom first before I get to the top, because of course I'm leaning it up on my step stool here. Okay, I'm almost done. And the nice thing about conditioner is you shouldn't have a really sticky saddle at the end, which is something you get when you use those one-step products. It makes it really sticky, and tack should not feel sticky. It should just feel really clean. Okay, and I save the best for last. I get my tops to make them look really, really pretty. Conditioner really helps keep your saddle from drying out. So I'm going to do a little bit more. Okay. And then when I'm all done, and I make sure I rub it in evenly because I don't want to leave any marks, I roll my stirrups back up. And it is going to be good to go. So I'll show you how to do bridles and girths in another video when I have my skyhook. But that's all it takes to do your saddle. So happy cleaning.